Hello and welcome back to the channel, everyone. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and I was very sleepy last night. I was totally planning on... oh, sorry about that. Maybe I should get myself a drink. No, I was totally planning on doing some recording for Metroid Dread and doing the research for the latest Wizard of Metal, and then my body said, nah, it's nap time. So I basically got nothing done yesterday after work. So, take that however you want. It's just going, oh, he's a lazy fucker. Like, yeah, I have that coming. Alright, so what exactly am I doing here? Well, this isn't exactly what one would call the Wizard of Metal. No, we're moving on to the next Arcana in the Basic Arcana Spotlight series, and today we're going Radiant Blast. And something seems wrong. Why am I not getting sound? Like, no, seriously. Something's wrong here. Is it with my headphones? Oh, there we go. My headphones were partially unplugged and I wasn't getting one of my sound channels. Alright, well that was awkward. Alright, so Radiant Blast. I like Radiant Blast because it's flexible and it has the capability of being very strong. Alright, so just the 3 basic hits do 8, and 12. So a total of 28 damage without factoring in critical hits. But then the Charged Blast, instead of doing 12, does 12 and then a series of 5s. But then if it's enhanced, it does a little bit more. And we can check that by putting on the claws. It also makes it so the last blast does 15, putting your damage up to 31 for the full combo. But now let's see, that's much more like it. Now, of course, it doesn't have very good range, but it makes up for it by being able to... oh, pardon me. I just woke up, so you have to forgive me for being a sleepy boy. Okay. Brain, are we good? Alright. But yeah, it makes up for it by essentially having a nice wide hitbox up front and being rather effective in its means. And basically the charged hitbox that lasts a nice long time. So you can use it as a potential getaway or just good comboing, but you don't have to use the charged hitbox. So, good stuff if you ask me. Now, as I'd said, Volt Disc definitely beats it out in terms of just raw range. But otherwise, Radiant Blast pretty much has it beat in every other scenario, if you ask me. Alright, let's go back to the usual. Alright, so what do I want for the rest of my Arcana? It's part of the problem. I hadn't thought this far ahead. That would be my fault. Alright, well, what do I want to do as my signature? Well, we got ourselves a nice little combo thing going. Why don't we take Tracer Barrage? And my brain keeps going back to Frost Fan, so I'm just going to go with it. And as far as offense is concerned, Captain's Ring. There we go, we're going to make this a Captain's Ring run. But remember, the focus is still on Radiant Blast. Also, do I necessarily want to do the piano? I do the piano music a lot. How about we go back to the good old classics? At least for a couple of runs. Hopefully no one gets upset with me for wanting to go back to the classics. And we'll start in the Thundering Keep. So I know a number of you had commented in the last video saying like, oh, but I rather like Volt Disc and this is why. And I get that. I absolutely do. Trust me when I say that it's not my intention to come in and just take a crap all over the Arcana that you like, but I mean, I'm also not gonna lie about my opinions. Unfortunately, my opinion on Volt Disc was not a very positive one. It's not because I lost the run. I've just not had a good time with Volt Disc in general, to be honest. So again, it's nothing personal. I certainly don't get a kick out of telling people, oh, I don't like your opinion. But that's also not necessarily what I'm doing. I've just not had a lot of good experiences with Volt Disc. To me, it just comes off as being, especially in comparison to some of the other Arcana that I like, it just comes off as being clunky. And I will be straight up honest and say that if you're... Let's see, I don't know if there's anything here I want. I like Furious Tempest and Airborne Slam. I don't know, I might come back here. I want to see what Anders is selling first. Unfortunately, he's right the hell down here. Okay, we're taking that. Everything else comes off as being okay-ish. I don't know, nothing I'm gonna write home about, that's for sure. come on, go away already. I'm just trying to find my way through this castle. Why do you have to be so mean? Now, one of the issues that will probably be brought up that, you know, it's a perfectly valid issue, let's be fair, is that against bosses, you're not going to combo very well with the charge mechanic. Now, that's not an issue with Radiant Blast specifically, that's an issue with just about all of the charge basics. But that in and of itself is also a chance for me to point out that all the charge basics have a similar flexibility in that you can just go quick or you can charge up for greater power. It doesn't mean that they don't have a weakness. That is absolutely true. And I think I am going to buy Furious Tempest. Now, whether or not I keep Furious Tempest throughout the run, I'm not sure, but it's good to have right now. There we go. Now, of course, it wouldn't be a basic Arcana Spotlight if we didn't also talk about how good it is when paired with Sidewinder's Badge. So, I will say that it gets a solitary meh. So, when you're just doing that, Sidewinder's Badge isn't going to help very much. However, if you do that, the Sidewinder's Badge will add a ton of damage to that last multi-hit burst. Okay, this room automatically gets the award for most annoying thing I've seen in a while. Tornado? Yeah, I didn't realize it was on cooldown. How I don't realize that is anyone's guess. Maybe just because I'm not paying attention to a lot right now. So, this is one of those things where on a grade of A through D, I would give Sidewinder's Badge with this a solitary, I don't know, B+, maybe a C. Oh, hello. I always love finding a health orb in one of the barrels. Hello, what do we have here? I like Sleepy Thunderstone. I should wait though because there are still 3 Arcana that I'm trying to upgrade. Yeah, when you're feeling pressure, don't feel like you have to do you have to do the fully charged attack on any charge basic. That's what I mean by they're flexible, is they give you options, and you're only hurting yourself if you don't use those options. really. So one thing I hadn't thought about when doing the, basic Arcana series, like Arcana spotlights, I'll take that, thank you, is how effective is the basic with the candies. And I'm going to say this right now, most Arcana don't work very well with the citrus candy. Reason being is because the citrus candy is a ball lightning that has a gigantic amount of knockback and actively throws off your combos. But in the case of Radiant Burst, I say you're going to get the most out of probably the Cabbie's Cotton Candy. I don't really want any of those. Reason being is because you've got yourself a nice close-range Arcana that's definitely going to benefit from the Breaking Twister coming out and just hanging out in place for a little bit. You're gonna do okay with the cinnamon dots and the bubblegum. The drill is mostly okay with, or the chocolate is mostly okay with just about any Arcana, to be fair, just because of how it works. So it really, when it comes to the candies, what it really boils down to is how well does this work with the citrus candy, and how well does this work with the cotton candy. But that's not to say that the others shouldn't at all be taken into account. It's just that they're better taken into account when... I'm gonna not worry about that, I already have two. I am gonna grab that just because. But with the other three essentially just being, launching additional projectiles, that's one of those things that works out better when you've got something long range. So yes, the Volt Disc gets a couple of extra points when discussing the candies because it works better with the longer range candies like the cinnamon dots, the bubble gum, and the chocolate. Owie. There we go. And done. I do not want that. Actually, you know what? I am going to take it just because it's an Earth-based Arcana, but trust me when I say I'm probably going to be getting rid of it sooner rather than later. Also, I'm probably not even going to use it until I can get the Furious Tempest upgrade. That is Furious Tempest, isn't it? Yeah. See, I figure that once I get Furious Tempest upgraded, I can do anything with Furious Tempest that I could do with Whirling Tornado, just better. You guys suck. There we go. Now see, in that time, if I had the charged, if I had the enhanced version, I could have very easily just... could have very easily had the full charge, but I don't, and it makes me sad. And for those of you who are curious, I'm not going to be dropping Metroid Dread. I definitely want to continue to do the full playthrough of that game. This is, like I said last night, I was super sleepy, and as I was getting ready to start recording, I kind of drifted off. Just kind of drifted off and on the couch of all places. Take that for what it's worth, but in my own file, I just found the cross bomb and the wave beam, so we're going places. All right, so definitely down for that. I'm also down for Shattering Strike. Like, I definitely feel like that would be a good replacement for Whirling Tornado. But, let me save some money. See what... Man, you have all of the most okay trinkets. Yeah. Now, I should stress that my first file, Okay, I hate you guys. But my first file is essentially going slowly because, one, I work full-time hours. But two, I'm also just using my first file as a way to learn the layout of the game. Actually, I should stress it's not necessarily just the first file, it's more so just the first playthrough. Because Metroid Dread, if you ask me, is going to be just as replayable, if not maybe a little bit more so, than Super Metroid, just because of the high-quality bosses. Like, even the most, like, basic bitch bosses are really fun to fight, like Corpius. Oh, is anything here really all that great? Oh, that is a melee basic, so I'll grab that. But let's be fair, I'm not exactly... Like, this doesn't exactly excite me. Alright, so now let's go ahead and grab Shattering Strike, and we'll do that. We are now in full Captain's Ring mode. Hope you brought a change of pants. Because I'm about to make you shit yours. I'm so clever. Oh, hello, Doctor. Alright, so I don't necessarily want to give up Furious Tempest, so I'm hoping to be able to find the upgrade for it, so I can give her this version and then go grab the upgraded version. How are you still alive? You got like 1 hit point by some fluke? See, that's one of those scenarios where you shouldn't feel like you absolutely have to use the upgraded version, or the charge variant. You should just get in there with whatever hits you can, and don't feel like you have to charge it up all the time. And I believe I had made that point before when talking about charge basics in general. Is you don't want to feel like you always have to charge it in order to get work done. The basic combos are still just as good and just as abusable. So it's one of those things that you should only really do when you have a decent opening for it, not all the time. But you know me. I am a sucker for flexibility and having options. So if you're giving me an option, then to me that means I have a little bit more flexibility in how I do things. See, that was another example of a scenario where you should just go with the basic attack instead of feeling like you have to charge it. Charging is something you should do when you have the time to do it, but the extra frames can make a difference. Right in the face. There's Furious Tempest, so we can give this to the Doctor, and then come back and grab this. Oh, except for it's going to be a little bit, because I haven't found the boss room yet. Well, okay, here. I can just give her Furious Tempest now. And Renewing Potion Vial. Actually, I'm down for that. That's pretty good. Now let's go find that boss room. Perfect. Alright, now... Of course, it's to the far, far south. I also realize I haven't found Anders yet. There's the boss room. Alright. Well, I mean, I don't have a choice. I have to do that. Dark Sage, you always have a choice. Not when it comes to fairies, I don't. There we go. Coming together like peanut butter and chocolate. Alright, let's get rid of the mook here. Alright, ooh, an infinity marble. Alright, this is a very interesting run when it comes to my relics. I have a lot of, like, quality of life and defensive relics. Not a lot of good offensive relics. There we go. I love Ignition Drive, but I already have my build set up, so I'm just going to call it. That would be a very bad position to teleport into, so I'm just going to come back to that later. Go away. Maybe my little fairy friend is even sick and tired of you, yes. Yeah, see, that's how you dodge an attack. You just list lazily to the left. Oh, you've given me good options, but again, I'm already set. Sorry, guys. I actually like all of those. See, this is one of those opportunities... Sorry, not opportunities. This is one of those situations where I kinda wish I had Token of Doom. It's not to say that I don't like seeing my boy Nocturne, but... Oh, who would have guessed that I couldn't reach them with a melee attack? Oh, man. Oh. I mean, I would like to be able to get something to improve my critical hit rate now, but even as is, that is nice. And we should hopefully see it proc at least once or twice before the end of the run. I'm hoping once against Sura and once against Zeal, but you know, let's not get too greedy here. No, if it doesn't go off at all, then I'm just going to be sad and upset. But I mean, already in comparison to the Volt Disc run, you can see that I'm in a greater amount of control, because it's not strictly because of the basic. Let's just get that out of the way. I do feel as though I procced against Counter Rogue. Not gonna turn that down. And Chakra Locket. Okay, I've got way too many defensive relics. Can I please get something to help me boost my damage? No, it's not entirely because of the basic, but it helps. Because I was working with essentially within my wheelhouse with the Volt Disc run, and felt like I was not in enough control to handle my problems. And let's be fair, that could once again just come down to I got some of the worst moves in the game, potentially. So, I mean, whatever. Take it with a grain of salt. I just feel like I'm in more control of what's going on right now. It might even just come down to the dash. I don't know. I've trained myself extensively with Chaotic Rift, so when I'm not using Chaotic Rift, I kind of feel like I'm not wearing pants, so to speak. Like, the only time that tends to not be true is when I have things that have really good coverage, like Flare Rush, or when I'm using Wavefront because of the shield property. So there's any number of reasons why I failed that run, and they're not necessarily down to the basic itself. But I do feel much more comfortable with this particular basic, like enough so that I can just be like, yeah, this is all good again. I'm gonna drop you. You're not doing enough. Well, that's a bad idea, though, because I have Jade Chakra Locket, so there we go. But I am going to be Mr. Horse-Headed Man. Yeah, but you never saw Shade wearing a horse head. That's right, be afraid. So, Darkseid, what would you call your running speed at the moment? Uncomfortable. Like, I'm moving a little too fast to feel like I'm, in perfect control. I mean, we're not quite at, like, Sonic the Hedgehog speeds yet, but But yeah, we're moving pretty quick. We're moving like power thirsty. Alright. Oh, hey. Yes, make me shine. There is no world in which I complain about having greater critical hit chance. Although in this case, it's greater critical hit chance, greater damage, greater max health, and yes, even faster run speed. So we might not be at Sonic the Hedgehog speeds, but we're at least encroaching on Miles Tails per hour speeds. Owie! Didn't even see her getting ready to use Burn Cycle there. That's my bad. And not surprisingly, Dice of the Nemesis didn't trigger at all against Zeal. Oh well. I like the option, but again, I'm already set. Plus, I do genuinely like Tracer Barrage better than Raging Inferno. I think you rage attackers had enough fun. Okay, in case you're wondering what just happened there, he got his attack pattern reset by being frozen, so one of the few times which I have to say no, bad fairy. I can focus fully on your dumbass. Beautiful. Oh, now we get something offensive. Okay. Yeah, at this point we can safely drop that. Just in time for the final fight. Yeah! I mean, at least it happened, at all. Oh! Hey, watch it. Oh, hey, look at that. Smoked you. That was a Dice of the Nemesis trigger right there. Oh, you jerk. Come on, baby! That's what you get. It's also what you get for having a nice mastery of how Tracer Barrage works. Alright, so that's the episode. Feels nice to obtain a victory. Not that I don't do it often, but I'm just saying. Yes, I know it's the insignia of legend. Thank you. Thank you, and good night. So that's Radiant Blast. What do you guys think? Do you think you might want to try it at some point in the future? Have you already tried it? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Comment below, let me know, and as per usual, I will see you guys in the next one. I thank you for coming to spend some of your free time with me. You know, drop a comment, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, share this with your friends, share it with the Wizard of Legend Discord. By all rights, I should probably be doing that, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Yeah, the birds want to say goodbye too. Good birds. Alright guys, that's it for me. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and I will be seeing you.